Do a quick talk about like what this agent is about and like how you can set it up, and like I'll go through an example of my use case of how I'm using it, some like skills and best practices, and then we'll have like a lot of time for questions and answers and discussions. So yeah, I've been a developer since like 2016, like Web 2 and then also in crypto and AI. And the last like 5 years I've been a digital nomad, also attending a lot of like Ethereum hackathons, pop-up cities, and I've been here at network school since January 1st and got into, started really discovering more about agentic coding, and I've been like using a lot of different AI agents before. There's been several kind of waves.
It's like, prove it.
Yeah, there's been several waves of generations of AI agents before, and they really haven't been really working that well. And now I feel like with like Claude Code, this agentic CLI coding agent, a lot of lessons have been like discovered and learned, and now they are starting to be really good. And a lot of like the leading labs and people in there are saying like, okay, we're very close to having like a digital human where a lot of the digital work can be done by an AI. And so you can imagine how big of an impact this will have on the economy, and will transform like how we work. So I've been. Yeah, I'll go into like the key kind of like breakthroughs that make this possible, and then I'll like go into like this next, and like so that's the key discoveries have been like just putting an LLM, an agent loop that allow it to interact with the computer through the terminal, and give it like simple like 4 tools like read files, write files, use bash commands, and like create new files. This is like the Pi agent kind of loop, which OpenClaw is like a wrapper around. And the OpenClaw allows you to connect different channels like WhatsApp or Telegram, and has another key kind of breakthrough is like using skills, which allow you to have all these new capabilities without clogging up a lot of the context window. Versus like with MCP, this was the problem with the MCP, says they took up a lot of the context window and the output was not as good. So the discovery is like the context engineering, making it very clear of emphasizing like not having too much information in there, but being very directed. So the skills are little like markdown files with some like optional like code that can be re-executed. And now skills are really taking place of a lot of apps, and think of them as a lot better version of N8N workflows. So N8N workflows have been like the go-to tools for a lot of like AI automations and AI agents builders creating these workflows, but those take a lot of time to configure them, to create them, and they break often. And they're very brittle, so you have to take a lot of time to improve them, to make sure all the parameters are correct and all the errors can be resolved. And so a skill can be created by the agent itself through a conversation with you. So if you go through like a set of steps or like a workflow with your agent that you really like, and it's like, then you can ask it, create a skill for this, and then it will be able to repeat that same exact steps in the future by invoking that skill. So, that's another key aspect that allows the agents to be really good right now. So I'll share more about like what skills I'm using, what skills I've created, and since about like early February, I started this product, and actually I've been kind of working on this since like last April, where I built this version at a hackathon where it was like this agent that created social media content on the World Mini app. world coin mini app. So here, what this does is you can launch an OpenClaw instance on a virtual private server. So like hosting it in the cloud, and it's really easy for non-technical people to use. And so it's subscription based, and there's a landing page. URL is augmi.world, Augmi.world, and it's $20 per month. There's also a yearly thing, and that's one VPS instance. Have some testimonials, and then so this is you can do your own hosting on like DigitalOcean or other kind of hosting, but this is intended to be more convenient and targeting non-technical people. And then the vision is that what I'm doing is like launching new improvements and products to make it easier for people to integrate with other platforms like your Google Drive and your AI providers, to make it more and more frictionless for non-technical people to get like the best use of this. So every week or like every day, I'm launching new updates, and it's getting better and better every day. So this is one of my agents, and right now I'm basically working on just getting a really good workflow with one agent. And this is some information about the server. So this is like the dashboard. You can go to this to your agent, and you can see all the configuration. So like the dashboard for the OpenClaw config, you can open it here, which comes out of the open source project. But so you can have access to that, and then also you can have just access to the terminal if you need to change the configuration just through the OpenClaw CLI, which can be more convenient in some cases. So this is the OpenClaw kind of their dashboard that you can access, and you can go in there and you can do chats and see all the configurations. It's based on the config file, and the kind of the key aspects of the OpenClaw is the most important aspect is like the soul.md file, which is for Claude Code, same idea. It's the claw.md file, and that's like the key thing that you will update and tell it to, hey, if it's behaving or it's doing something that you don't like, that's where you would tell it to update that file, and then it remembers that, because that's like its core kind of like constitution that is included in every AI API call. So, and it's important to make that as like clear and not like loaded, or not too much, just more focused. Then you get more better results. Another aspect of OpenClaw is the channels, which connect to your other like Telegram and other clients like Slack and so on. So I prefer to use Slack, and I'm just always talking to it through my Slack and my speech to text. Another aspect is like it has a memory, built-in memory in OpenClaw, so that's important to know too. And another important key aspect of OpenClaw is like cron jobs. So you can tell it to like every day at 7 a.m. run, give me a report on all of my social media analytics, or check in with me with my to-do list with my goals for the week, or things like that. So those are pretty awesome, like these automations. And then so I'll like go really fast how to launch your own agent, and then I'll go into the key use case that I've been using it here as my kind of social media engine pipeline. And then, do you have a question?
Yeah. So first of all, I deployed it with the agent. I deployed it with the code TCP. But it turns out the full data center or address is a little blacklisted. So I was curious, how did you get around this?
But I IP address is blacklisted by who? By who?
Use my access to my laptop to get residential
Oh, but
IP address.
yeah, but who? What was blacklisting the?
Well, it was like, I don't know, whenever the agent was trying to access my site, we just get denied.
Like Cloudflare will ask you, are you a robot because the web traffic will come from known IP address to send lots of traffic.
But traffic to what? Like to the web browser, any website?
Yeah, any website.
That's not possible because VPS is just always talking to other websites, and so by default this uses like Brave search, and it's just calling regular Brave browser requests, so it cannot be blocking unless you mean a specific provider is blocking addresses.
You know, like if you use NordVPN, you can still get every time you access Google, it will ask you every time like to check that you are a real human rather than.
So Google itself?
Yeah, Google itself. I mean, at least for me with NordVPN, I will get this even just with my regular browsing. But I guess from the VPS server, the traffic is also more blacklisted.
That only happens for like things like if you're logging into Twitter through a headless browser from a VPS, that's when it would be blocked. But for any other kinds of things, that cannot happen. So
So, just to clarify, where is this running?
this is these agents run on a VPS. So think of it as like it's using like under the hood like AWS like servers.
Okay. If you have any issues running any blacklisted or frank access, any website,
No.
okay.
Thank you. So like Cloudflare or many providers will block IP addresses coming from a data center.
That's what I thought.
That's the foundational use case of a data center of a server. It's always talking to other websites. Unless it's something like you're trying to log in from to a Twitter account, then it will give a restriction, and then you can like buy a residential proxy to get around that. So I'll go into like creating an agent. It's like a few steps. You can go to like the agents and then create new, and you can use a template or create your custom configuration. I created my own templates, for example, like a developer for Augmi itself, and it comes basically that comes with its system prompt or the sol.md file. There's a couple more steps here, like the description that you can edit, and then you can edit that actually later too through the conversation, which is kind of a new perspective. But you can just tell it to hey update the sol.md, and it will do that. That's the best way. And then here you actually have to bring your own API key. I'm working on a way where you can just buy credits here, but that's in progress. So the best way is to first like Cloud Code subscription. It's the best, cheapest, because then you can. I have like a max plan, and then you can use that. Otherwise, you can use if you want to pay per credit use. Then like the second best is probably Open Router with Communicate 2.5, which is comparable to the state-of-the-art Anthropic. But then you're paying per credit, which can come up to like add up to be a lot. Like I paid for like 1 week of use, it was like 60 bucks. So you can go there and save the API keys that are encrypted and stored there, and they're passed into the instance, and they're safe, but also make sure that you have a spending limit on all your API keys, because if they get leaked or somehow, you can be on, you can have a very large bill in the thousands. So the next step is like, you can also add in through here other API keys, like for example, create a GitHub profile for it so it can create, contribute to your code base as a contributor, or for example, Google Drive or other kind of things.
Sorry, but I can also ask it to create accounts for itself, right? Like it can use the browser and go create accounts for itself.
Yeah, some of those may have like a CAPTCHA that may prevent that, but you can try that.
Okay.
You can create an email for it, and then it would like do that. And then here, connect it to a messaging platform. So I would like do a bots, a Telegram bots, and then go to there's like a bot father that will give you a token, and you paste that in here. And there's the setup guide here, how to do that. Or you can skip it, and then finally review this, have full access, and then deploy it, and it should be live. And in under minutes. So I think for me it's been the most useful connecting it to the Google Suite or the Google Workspace, and that has the Gmail, the calendar, the spreadsheets, the Google Drive. Yeah. Yeah, it's like every week or something. I like update it to the latest version, make sure there's no any errors or configuration changes that I have to update.
Sorry, I see that in this case you're using Kimi 2. With Kimi, more or less, how much can you expect to spend, like if we leave this running like constantly?
Yeah, because so like I mentioned before, like for me, like casual use, it was like $60 for 1 week.
Oh, with Kimi.
Yeah, and I was using it quite a lot.
Okay, excellent, yeah.
And that's probably like the best, most valuable value model that's out there.
Yeah.
OpenRouter has some free ones. They have like free models, but the results won't be as great. You won't be as good, but they can give you a little bit of a.
If I'm not mistaken, with OpenRouter, you cannot use the cache tokens, cache input tokens. So if you use Kimi2 from Moonshot AI, it should be even cheaper than that.
Cache tokens? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, like if you use Kimi2 with Cloud Code, it's way cheaper on Moonshot AI than with OpenRouter or other providers, just because those other providers they don't give you discount for cache tokens, which are tokens that have been previously put as input in the past queries.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. So that it's always reusing from the conversation and kind of compounding.
Yeah, the discount should be like other like I think it would be like just for the input tokens it should be like extra 66% discount compared to normal input price. But I have no idea how much of the tokens are being reused with OpenClaw compared to like Cloud Code. In Cloud Code it's a lot. Here maybe it's less.
Yeah, I think it is also an issue here. So you're saying which kind of providers are
OpenClaw AI is the makers of MK2, and if you go straight through them, it should be cheaper. I don't know how much cheaper, but it should definitely be cheaper.
Did you say OpenAI?
No, Moonshot.
Moonshot. Oh, if you go directly through them. Okay,
Yeah.
I see. Okay, good to know. Yeah. So now it's launched, and basically here I would. You can also look at the logs. See everything's good. To investigate like wallets is in progress in the terminal, and so I'll show you like the output of like some of my social media posting. So about like 2 weeks ago, I started like created my own skills. Like the most. So I'll tell you my workflow is like whenever I come across a good article on Twitter, which is like every time I open my Twitter, it's like some amazing article. So I'll take that link and then be like, hey, read this article and do the deep research skill. So what that does is we'll do a lot more deep research, read a couple other articles, then synthesize its own post, and then use that as repurpose that across different formats to different platforms. And then it will like create its own LinkedIn post, Twitter article, Instagram carousel, and short form video. And so for me, it's like a really great kind of augmentation of it. So I'm not like going and reading this article anymore. Sometimes I will go read it, but usually I'm just like going back into my own like social medias and media channels and then getting like all the most important things, insights from it. And I'll give you some examples like, and I'm just starting this, so it's not really great, not that great yet, but it just takes a little more refinement and iterations, and that's really not hard to do. It's just about talking to it and telling it to update the skill, create a style guide where it can remember the changes that I make, the improvements, and that's how it learns. That's how it gets better. So this video looks like that 435.
Your OpenClaw agent
on
as context is 30 seconds review. I will show the exact memory setup that makes sessions stay consistent. Use 2 layers, session memory for now, project memory for long-term recall, source summaries, decisions, to-dos, and next steps in a fixed structure. Before creating sessions, you can handle workflow. Copy this framework is arranged as a task or
So for me, this wasn't like my favorite, but this one got like 20 likes. And again, that came out from like this deep research, so like those insights are like really relevant, prescient.
Can you show more in detail how to what is the scale of your OpenClaw has used to create this?
So there's like a skills page here where you can find like all the ones that I use and some of the other main ones. And skills are very important to like audit the code before a skill because there's a lot of malware in them, and you're essentially telling your AI to run some arbitrary code that's very, very dangerous. So here's all the skills that I use, and I have them in a GitHub, and I periodically update them. So for example, I have this comic book maker, which makes these really great comic books that are like talk about like kind of was like episodes from like life at NS, which is kind of like chronicling kind of really awesome experiences here. So anyway, that's the comic book skill. There's the deep research skill that I talked about is in here as well. Sure.
Something like an edit and how is it different from OpenClaw?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned this earlier. Like an N8 to N is like a little workflow you drag and drop with connect different providers or different API calls or different services together through like some parameters. Like this one takes this parameter and outputs this, and then you construct a kind of a multi-step workflow that way. And a skill you can do that same thing with a skill through code. And for example, so what that would look like is you have you talk to it and describe the workflow, and so I can give you an example of a short form video that is like this.
500,000 TikTok views in 5 days. His name is Larry. He runs on an old gaming PC under a desk.
So what I did here is I have the source content, and then I created this workflow just in my head, and then told it, described it, and then it implemented this. So I told it, create a script based on this content that will be 30 seconds. Then use the images that I generated and add some more to have each clip be 5 seconds. So then turn each of the images into like an active slideshow.
Animated as
Yeah, animated. In another version, I used like text to image to like animate the images, but that's more pricey, and that could be like $1 or $2 per request. But I did that in another skill, and I can show you, and that generates like real short form videos. But so then I asked it to then use DeepGram to turn the text, the script, into an audio, and use this voice. and then take the transcript, the numbers, the times to create subtitles, and use this kind of font, this size, and highlight the words that are being spoken. And then I'm showing.
This was OpenClaw.
Yeah, I was talking to OpenClaw to create this skill. So there's a skill called Create Skill. So it's compatible with Claude Code.
Basically, it's the UI that is different. So you are almost texting with it and getting the post created on, and you are requiring setup.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, where it takes a lot of time to do that end to end, and you can get.
Did you see the same quality of output?
Yeah, and it's even better here because then you can always tell it to tweak things. I want this kind of font. Put the logo a little bit in this location, and you tell it to save that in the style guide, and you tell it to always reference the style guide in the future.
Because they're more complicated.
Takes a lot less time, and I keep all my style guides in the Google Drive, and so that's where it can pull them in. So yeah, that's the another thing. It generates the blog posts, and then it puts them into my code base, and then puts the images in. And this is like really good quality outputs. For example, like tutorials, or yeah, like the output was pretty good for the tutorials. And so this concept of the personal AI infrastructure, and this talks about like the Google Drive, or like your file structure. That is kind of like the knowledge base, or like the second brain of your agent or team of agents. And this is like another really important aspect. This is like really about just keeping everything organized. So the agent like knows where to look for the style guide, where to put the outputs, where to find or source images. And so that's really about organizing your files and folders in the right way. And really this is like a new paradigm where really files and folders are replacing apps and databases. So we're really moving from people using apps to you working with your agent and your agent using apps or using APIs. All right, so what else? Here guys. All good. So I think that was, so I want to show you the social media, that was outputs. It's like, and so there's the skills, and how you install a skill is you give it the link, and you have to make sure it's not malware, it's from a safe source. And then you tell it to install it, and it's that simple.
What's the cost for like 100 posts if you have to make? The cost, what's the cost of one?
There's a cost, like some platforms, and the integration. So I'm scheduling through, I'm using this tool that's also open source, but I'm just paying the API key, and it's like $30 per month. It's called PostIs. I have a tutorial on how to use it here. So this, and so I use this, and it's able to schedule and post. And if you're using Twitter, it's you have to use like Twitter API, and they charge per like credit per read or write. Or there's other like Twitter API.io, that's also good. Or you can go and connect yourself to your Facebook business account, or like get all the API keys, but that may be more work to do that.
A little expensive. We tried that for like being an audit on as manager became a little expensive. We had an account with about $3 million monthly spend. It became really expensive for it to audit it all.
For what account?
Like ads manager, meta ads
Ah,
manager.
ah. For what? For posting or for reading?
For ads audit, like running ads.
Running ads.
Expensive. Yeah, expensive.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Are all these skills like API based, or some are also like how to say? Does the cloud is also able to I'm saying to actually see a browser and like interact with visual content as well?
There can be skills where it's launching its own browser and it can take like screenshots or do automations. There are skills like that. There's software like that. If the code that it's running, or it's like some headless browser or some like Playwright or something like that.
But like by default, can I tell you like open the browser, go into ChatGPT and perform a deep research using ChatGPT on the web interface?
Oh, I see. So if you're running it on like your MacBook and you're logged in to your ChatGPT account, I believe there are some tools where it can
But
take
through
control.
the VPS.
Through the VPS.
Like let's say I open Telegram and I say to my bot, okay, go to chatgpt.com and perform this research for me.
What?
Into this.
Yeah. So maybe that's not a good example because then you could just do directly the search yourself. The agent could do the search itself, or it can call like Gemini or another AI provider, or have its own deep search skill.
But I wanted to use chatgpt.com. Because
So-
I can give it like an account that's already paid for a subscription, but it's not an API because API cost is way higher. So maybe I can just like communicate you like to write the query, but a ChatGPT subscription to actually perform the research.
I use my ChatGPT subscription on here, and my it's not as good as the Claude Code. Actually, I have a lot of problems with it's not working well with OpenClaw. But you can use your subscription through here. There's some extra steps there.
But how do you use it?
How to set it up, how to connect it.
Yeah, like I should access my ChatGPT account.
It would be the OpenClaw would be using your ChatGPT subscription as its main kind of AI provider.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you're not paying; you're just paying for the subscription, and you're able to use it through your OpenClaw.
Okay, you know it was possible.
Mm. There's some extra steps that you can talk to it, and it will guide you through it. Like, yeah, I prefer using the Claude Code subscription with Macs, and it's really great. Yeah, my Codex subscription, it's like having a lot of permission issues because the OpenAI is a lot more restrictive about running different commands or accessing using API keys. So another thing I'm doing is like it's able to do like analytics, and it's just some examples like this. You can get like daily reports on this, like how many Instagram views, reach, and likes. So this is using the Posters API, and it's pulling in all this data and can create these reports for you, which is like a lot of value. Think of it as like a consultant, team of consultants. So I have this, and it's like also just giving me instant feedback on how the posts are doing. So yeah, there's a lot of so many things to do here, but yeah, so now I'm just working with one agent how to make it the most out of it.
What's the one you do?
Just like social media content, social media engine, creating this completely autonomous, self-improving loop, and think of that as like really an awesome power. Just like make this work, and it's like the possibilities are endless here. You just
Researching, making, posting, analytics.
yeah,
Reworking and going to the
and it's self-improving. So that's a really, if you just like make that work, can provide a lot of value.
what is the input you gave? Was it replicate a particular social media channel?
My personal use, like, is I find a Twitter article that I really like about some new breakthrough in AI agents, and then I give it the link, and I ask it to run the deep research skill, and it knows to, okay, read it, then read like 20 other articles with those same topics, same ideas, and then do its own kind of analysis and synthesis, and then create its own kind of own original blog post, and then repurpose that across all the other platforms. So all the blog posts are visible here, and they're just really great. Like, I just love like going back in here and reading it, and I feel like this is really valuable. Like so yeah, it's like this is how we're providing value back to the world by using intelligence and creating these artifacts. That's how you generate value, and that's how you can create this value engine that then you can monetize and then build an audience. Yeah, so I think that's like what I want to show you, like my main use case, and this is like where all of my time goes into, like using it and then talking to people that are that are using this. So right now I have like 5 people that are like using it and are saying really good things, and then it just always like making it better. There's some, it's not perfect, like there are some errors, like on Telegram sometimes it just shows like this error, and okay, so it can be a little tedious, like, oh, you have to learn a little bit more about verbose, and then you turn that off, and then it's not going to show these errors. Or so there's a little things like that you have to improve.
Which model tends to perform best if money is no object?
So, do you say
If money were no object,
Yeah.
which model performs best for the world?
Cloud Code Max subscription, or $200 per month, or just Cloud Code subscription. I think they have like the $20 one, and then just using that.
With Opus, right?
Yeah.
Opus model.
Yeah, Opus 4.6.
The code model is like optimized for writing code, right? So, no.
Yeah, I usually like use everything with the phone because it just does better.
Doesn't Complexity Max also have got integrated into the option tool?
Did you say
Complexity Max,
Perplexity?
Yeah.
Max?
you can use any of the models through it, right?
I'm not sure about that.
Have you tried Mini Max?
No. What's that? That's a model Max. No.
Oh, it's a new LLM. It's supposed to be like 20 times cheaper to install.
Cool. Communicate 2.5 has been really good too. It's like 10x cheaper than Opus 2.5. So basically, it's like what I'm building here. And if you're interested in using this, like DM me, and I can like help you like get the most out of this. If you want to get the subscription, and it's I'm like always like talking to people and like sharing best practices. And yeah, every day there's like new improvements on here, so it's always getting better. And there's a lot on the roadmap, like integrations with wallets and like crypto and DeFi. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to share with you. And yeah, there's so reach out to me on Discord or just talk to me in person. And yeah, if there's any more discussions or questions, we can take more time to do that.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
That's just one stupid question. I know that in the past few weeks, the past month, many people went to buy Mac Minis.
Yeah.
And of course, you can also host this on VPS.
Yeah.
Are there like any advantages on using Mac Mini compared to using a VPS? Like why people were spending like $600 at least on computers?
Both of them So I think it has more compute, so you can run models locally. But then those are smaller models. They're not as great as the state of the art. So that's one thing, and then you can save on those costs, and you can just have it running like 24/7 and just run it on your GPU. Another thing is like maybe it has like your kind of credentials or something logged into your browser or something like that, or it can have a lot more like your private disk space.
Like giving a gun to the AI model.
But it's within Mac OS, so if it deletes your hard drive, maybe it's not the worst thing. If you run it on your computer, they can't have that whole access power. And they're both running in the cloud, so you can just have the computer closed and just talking to it through your Telegram.
Is it also better at filling out CAPTCHAs if it's running locally, like if it's...
CAPTCHAs? I'm not super informed about like how we can solve CAPTCHAs. I imagine that there are people are working a lot of workarounds. I know I've heard of other people like just doing it manually there when it gets to a CAPTCHA, and then on a Mac Mini they can do that manually.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like,
Oh, yeah.
If it's running locally, they can tell you, please help me with this CAPTCHA.
Yeah,
If it's running
exactly.
VPS, is that possible? Or to maybe with a link or something?
I mean, send you like a screenshot of Telegram.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I meant like a puzzle CAPTCHA.
Yeah.
Not like a number.
Where you have to open
Puzzle,
the
yeah.
puzzle.
Because
Oh, yeah.
if the idea is, it would tell you, please help me with this, but can it do that if it's on a VPS? Can it
Probably
send you
not.
a URL or something?
Not easy.
So if you do this, just like,
I think technically it probably can, because it's probably running like a Ubuntu OS, and then it probably like you can probably like do any desk or something to connect to it with the interface. I think it may be possible. Is anyone here interested in subscribing to Augmi.world? Raise your hand.
I did it yesterday.
Yes. I have like 5 people or something. They're saying really great things. All right. So yeah, it's really good if you're looking for like not having to mess around with the terminal.